Evening, everyone, and welcome to the PMBC meeting for September 10th, 2025. First order of business is warrants. We don't have any. The next order of business is to approve the amended meeting minutes from August 27th, which I sent out, I think, on Monday. Any comments or corrections? Is there a motion to approve?
We've got Steve. We didn't approve any last meeting.
Well, that's not on the agenda, so we'll have to correct that next time.
Okay.
Motion to approve the minutes to 27th as amended, August 27th. Yeah.
Second.
Second?
Yep, second.
Okay, roll call vote. Bob?
Bob Rumley, yes.
Sean?
Sean Ahern, yes.
Mike?
Mike Scuduto, yes.
And Steve Moore, yes. Motion carries. Shaker Lane School update. We had a joint meeting with the Finance Committee, the Select Board, the School Board, the Shaker Lane School Building Committee last Tuesday on the 2nd of September over at the center on Shattuck Street. It was very successful. It was, attended by about 5 or 6 residents. It was well received, well presented, and it presented the financial, the cost of the school and the anticipated tax burden to the residents. So it was a good meeting. There is a website out there called Vote Yes for Littleton, hosted by Annalise Tabor. It has a lot of great information on it. It's probably the best, one of the best websites I've seen, bar any for, information on anything. But for Littleton School, it's got probably more information out there than you need. And it's a great advocacy tool for the project. The RFP for the CM at Risk will probably go out on Central Register the week of September 22nd, and town meeting is September 27th, with the vote for the override on November 1st. So that's the update on Shaker Lane. Any questions?
October 28th.
I would strongly
it's October 20th.
Suggest going on to the website. What's that?
You've got some wrong dates in there. Because the town meeting is in October, not September.
I'm sorry, October. You're right. And October 27th, and then September 1st, or November 1st for the override vote.
Yeah, I think it's October 28th for the town meeting, and then first for the ballot.
Is it 28th?
Yeah, it's the Tuesday night.
Well, I have that all screwed up. So anyway, thanks for the corrections. So any other corrections to my poor presentation on that? All right, we'll move on to the senior center. Brian, you're on mute.
I'll learn someday. Thank you, Steve. Senior Center is coming to a close right now. There is a push from the town that we want to be financially closed out within the next week and a half. In doing so, we are confirming that all vendors have been paid, and we're also reconciling Commodore's guaranteed maximum price. There have been a few requests from the town that I'd like to share with the committee, and to get some direction on these, as this directly impacts the credit change order that'll be coming back from Commodore. So we are reviewing what is being submitted for the credit, but there are some questions, and we'd like to see how we'd like to proceed. Some of this has come from just the end user, Eric and Liz, having some questions and getting some proposals about some work. There's 3 of them. If you wouldn't mind, Steve, if I could share my screen, and then we can talk about any of the other closeout or warranty items that we have.
Can you
I can do it.
clarify that, Brian? Are these additional work activities?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. Yep. Well, we'll look at them.
Sure. And I do want to caveat this with that Commodore is proposing, once we review these, that they would not issue a change order to the town, but rather they would reconcile it with the credit change that would be coming back to the town. So while it wouldn't come as a change order, it would just come at a reduced cost to the credit coming back. 2 of them are from Arujo Brothers. They're the plumber, the filed sub-bid plumber on this. And Eric, you may be able to add some color on these, but one was a roof hydrant that was installed as a change order onto the roof to provide water up onto the roof. It was deemed that it needs to be draining down properly to the drain. That was not part of the original change order. There had been some water that had been leaking up on that roof hydrant, therefore subjecting it to the pipe insulation and getting it inside. So a proposal was requested of the plumber to install proper drainage of this roof hydrant for $2,731.14. We feel this is, we've reviewed this with Commodore and ourselves. We feel this is pretty adequate and recommended, because it's something that's going to relieve any type of freezing up on the roof, as well as any type of water getting in places that it doesn't need to be.
So is this basically putting a drain tap in the existing water line?
So basically, for the freeze protection of that device, there's supposed to be a drain to drain the contents of the actual hydrant, and apparently the drain wasn't spec'd or installed, and the roof company came to finish the punch list on the roof, and I believe they turned on the hydrant to clean the section of the roof, and then when they shut the hydrant, it drained through the kitchen ceiling and flooded into the kitchen. So that's when we discovered the issue, and this is what the plumber came up with for a solution.
Hey, Brian, not to sound stupid, but how come this wasn't done when they originally installed it?
Agreed. When the request came in for this hydrant to be installed up on the roof, which was done, I don't have it currently, and I could pull this up, what was paid for it. I think it was in the tune of around $5,000 in order to add this onto the roof for maintenance. It's a question we have out to the engineer, why there wasn't a drain associated with this. But ultimately it should have been part of the original change order.
Yeah, the
So
plumbing
I
said
don't understand, if the drain, if the hydrant on the roof was leaking, does that mean the roof leaked?
so the hydrant had a port where a drain should be installed, and it had never been turned on. So my belief is that it was slowly weeping into the insulation around the pipe and down around, and all the insulation had been soaking that up until the hydrant was actually turned on, and then more water was released, relieving,
Is that like a little knurled screw thing that goes?
Yes,
On
it's
the,
about a 1/8 inch female threaded hole in the side of the frostproof.
Well, if it
portion of
was leaking, sounds like a problem with the insulation.
It does to me as well. I brought it up with the plumber and I said, why wasn't it spec'd? And he said the spec was written up and that was not included, and they installed the roof hydrant and there was no spec for a drain. So unfortunately, we have to install one or we have to put something in the ceiling to collect the water.
Something doesn't sound right here. If they installed a hydrant and they turned it on and turned it off and it leaked, I think that's on them, regardless of the fact that there's no relief valve below the hydrant on the roof. I don't recommend that we approve this.
Okay. I'll need to get more clarification then from the installer and what the issue actually was in order to go forward with this drain.
So what about the damage that was done? Who's going to cover that?
It was only 3 ceiling tiles that we had to replace, which was included in attic stock. So I shut.
What about the rest of the committee? What do you think?
I agree. I think that this should have been taken care of when they installed it. Somebody dropped the bomb here.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
even if they didn't take care of installing a drain valve down below, it should never have leaked to begin with.
No.
And it appeared to me that it had leaked for some significant amount of time because there was damage on all the installation on the piping all the way back to the valve, which was where we shut it off.
That's defective installation in my
Understood.
book.
Yeah, let me
Yep.
let me do some more investigative on this because I'm not clear as well as to why it would be leaking in the first place, regardless of whether a drain should be installed on this to begin with.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
So,
Brian.
Brian, I'll send you. I have pictures and I sent all that to Al and Arujo and Sen. So,
Okay, thank you.
yep.
The second is also from Arujo. Eric, this is for the chafing dishes that this is a request in order to extend some valves in order for easier access for people to access these dishes. This was just simply a request from Liz, and I think you, Eric, as well. This was provided to us by the plumber in order to make things more accessible for shutting off.
Yeah, so the daily meals that they serve are in the chafing dishes, and in order for the water to be drained out of them, the elderly have to get down on their hands and knees and reach all the way under back to the wall to turn a multi-turn valve to drain those dishes. So I recommended they be moved forward to the front so that they can do a quarter turn valve and drain it the same way without having to have the inconvenience of that to drain it.
Sounds like an error and omission type of thing, but I don't think that
Yeah,
I think it doesn't rise to the level of going after the designer.
I think it works okay. It just doesn't work well for an elderly facility, and I think going forward it'll be much better if we make the alteration now.
I don't have a problem with that one, Steve.
I don't either. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Understood. I will I'll give direction to Commodore on that one as well.
Okay.
The third, and it's the larger of the three, and in full transparency, I'm trying to track down the impetus of this and the design issue that we have. Currently at the bocce court area, there is an issue with the settling and the maintenance with that. We have, and Eric, maybe you can speak to the product as it sits right now, but it's becoming an issue where the stone dust is settling into the substrate and it's creating almost a rock hard situation that would need to be maintained almost on a daily basis with raking. We've gone through the detail as to how the filter fabric was installed on this. There was a request for information that was supplied to us by the site contractor questioning the detail from the landscape architect. The response from the landscape architect was that the detail was correct and to install as shown. We are now having issues with that, with it being a usable product. Brightview is the landscape contractor and has submitted a price at this point for $40,000 to remove everything and reinstall it as what they feel is the correct way to install it. I feel as though this is quite extreme, and I'm trying to get answers out of our landscape architect as to where we are. And Eric, I was going to reach out to get some up-to-date or current pictures on how this sits so that the design team can act appropriately with this. But knowing I wanted to bring it to the committee just based upon the schedule and deadlines that we're under right now from a project perspective.
So I had not seen this bill.
Just received it.
This invoice, I'm sorry, and it does not seem that extreme whatsoever. I think the only issue we have is in I would say maybe a quarter to a third of the court where the 3/4 inch stone has come up through the stone dust, and those stones are getting in the way of the bocce. So I suggested that geotextile just be laid down and we put stone dust on top and it be recompacted. I don't think we need to spend 40 grand to do that.
Do we have the room, Eric, in order to put another lift in of some compacted stone dust?
Yeah, there are probably 6 by 6 inch timbers around it, and there's nothing going up and touching that 6 by 6 timber. So if that timber needs to stay off the substrate, then some material might have to be removed. But there's at least 6 inches of material or of wall that will hold material.
Understood.
In there.
Okay.
So it's easily repairable for much less than this. I did
Understood.
not see this.
Understood. This is completely hogging everything out and reinstalling per the detail.
Yeah.
So, as it was received yesterday, I wasn't in favor and asked a lot of questions, and I haven't received anything yet. So,
I agree.
Brian, is this a compaction problem or what?
No, what we feel in the areas on where we're seeing some of the larger aggregate come up through the stone dust is that the proper fabric wasn't put in layered properly. The fabric is currently underneath the rock, and then the stone dust is on top. Now that the stone dust has been compacted and has now been settling, exposed to weather, you're starting to see some of that aggregate come to the top and be proud of the stone dust.
Did you say the fabric is under the stone?
That's correct.
Shouldn't it be between the stone and the stone dust?
That's what I would think.
That's what yeah.
So
I mean, we ought to look at the details. I mean, I
have it right. Yeah,
it almost sounds like a warranty issue.
So we have this is an RFI that was provided in March of this year as they were installing. We've observed the filter fabric shown between the two stone layers. Typically, we see filter fabric separating the stone dust from the stone. Please confirm. From the landscape architect, the detail is correct and appropriate for bocce court installations. And the detail down here shows the layer here with a 3/4 crushed rock above it, as well as the granite stone dust that sits on top of that.
Well, that didn't make any sense at all.
Yep.
It sounds like a bad RFI response.
Exactly.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree. Okay, so for this one, with your recommendation, is that I will track down the landscape architect, and Eric will also communicate with you about what potential mitigation can be done for far cheaper than this, whether it's adding the layer on top of it now or doing some minor excavation while putting some new material down.
I agree with Steve. I think isn't this something like a warranty problem, Brian?
Yeah.
I mean, they just started playing on it.
No, I agree. The warranty, however, would kick in if there was a failed product or something like that from the installation. Here, I feel personally that this is a bad response to an RFI and a bad detail that's resulting in something something incorrect. So I'm going to put the onus back on him to provide us with an answer for this. And the answer of the maintenance, I think the first answer I received was that maintenance, it should be raked every day, but we need more than that. That's unacceptable.
Exactly.
Yeah, we've been raking the rocks off the top as we can, but they're 3/4 inch stones that are sitting on top of the stone dust, and there should be a membrane in between the two.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Think so.
I mean, that's just common sense.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
I tell all my project managers, analyze what comes in from the designer as well as the contractor. See if it makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this doesn't make any sense.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Okay, so I have direction on all three of those, and I will report back. And Steve, I'll probably be in touch with you prior to the next PMBC meeting, as to what the progress is and what the direction is.
Okay.
From a good news perspective, I did meet with Commodore today. I spoke with them about the financial closeout of this project. I'm meeting with them on Monday and carved out a good section of the day to go through all of this and confirm and to draft the final credit change order. It's currently sitting at around $400,000 that will be coming back from the GMP to the town of Littleton. Michelle, I think I reached out to you earlier with the confirmation of all the vendors of being final paid, which would be all of the owner vendors, us, the designer, and Commodore. If that Commodore credit change order has not been fully processed and executed from the town and from the designer, but we have the numbers and figures of what we need from the total project budget, is that going to suffice from the information that you need for bond?
I believe so.
Okay.
So we were playing around with some numbers, throwing them to the financial advisor, and $500,000 either way makes a big difference when you're talking interest over 20 years. So we were really trying to get to a relatively close number, but
Absolutely.
when you're talking about potentially 40,000 here
Yes.
for the bocce
Absolutely.
court, that's not great. I mean, we'd have to go on the higher end, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, understood. And so after I have that meeting with Commodore, my intention would be to ask to sit down with you and Robin and go through our entire project status report to show what is the final numbers for this, and if there is anything left to be paid, it would be committed and accounted for at that point.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you responding so quickly to our request.
No, I understand. I understand the urgency at this point. So.
And then I did have a follow-up question for Lori that I sent her last week, and
Sure.
she hadn't responded yet, so I reached out to her today on the project, the budget status report. It
Yep.
appeared that one invoice was not accounted for on Vertex's end.
Okay.
And so I'm waiting for a response back on her, from her on that, and I think I can, fine tune the Vertex and LLB numbers on our end
Yep.
to reconcile with Laurie.
Excellent.
So that's good. So I think the only other question was the Commodore amount, and to make sure that our purchase order for whatever's outstanding is accurate.
Yes. And I will have that. I'm fairly confident I will have that on Monday so that I can get that to you guys immediately after.
Yep. Oh,
Hey,
that would be
Brian,
great.
I believe the last time we talked about the credit to the town, it was closer to 600,000.
Yep. So that was inclusive of both of the unused contingencies on the owner side, as well as the GMP being given back by Commodore Builders. So in our project status report, we have our budgeted line item for the GMP, which we knew we were tracking around 400 grand And then below the line on the owner side, we have owner construction contingencies that we've been using for change orders, which we have a significant, we have another, I believe it's over $200,000, as well as unused funds from a owner's project contingency for any soft cost overruns. So that number will all, what Michelle's referencing is that project status report will then spit out the bottom number, which will come into uncommitted funds and give backs at the end of the project.
So
Exactly.
are we talking 400 or 600?
We're talking 600.
That sounds better.
Okay. Because that was reported at the September 2nd meeting with the four boards.
If yes, and while you're talking, I can pull up the project status report. One moment.
As well, Steve, once sort of Brian and Robin and I go through the reconciliation piece, and I can look at, also compare that to unspent funds within the project, the budget, and it should be close.
Okay. I mean, that's the story we're trying to tell here.
Mhm.
We came in under budget by 600 plus grand or whatever it is.
If I could just share my screen quickly. Right now I was tracking at 720. That was as of
Okay.
last month. So there are some significant pots of money. There's about $500,000 right now in construction contingency that's been unspent. So it's actually going to be better than the 600.
Okay. As long as we don't have to fix that bocce court.
Well, we could make it the nicest bocce court in America, I guess, if we wanted to, but no, I understood.
I think
Somebody's
somebody
got to take
ball on that.
responsibility. Somebody's got to take responsibility. That's just a total, cluster.
Yeah, understood. Understood. My only other update with the senior center is the closeout. We had a roofing inspection and work performed early this morning. We're waiting on the one final warranty letter, which is from GAF, which is the manufacturer from the roofing material. It's the only missing piece. We will have all of Commodore's closeout materials. And what I've done is I've had our team put together a file tree, an index that we took all of Commodore's closeout materials and put them into our file tree. And that will have a closeout, kind of a easy to use file tree that will include your warranties, manuals, bid documents. It will have every meeting minute from the 70 meetings that we held on site, your submittal logs, RFI logs, your DCAM evaluations, all designer affidavits, certificates. All of that will be there, contained in the file tree. We were waiting just for the roofing inspection before we hand over any type of a thumb drive, but that would be our intention. And if there's anything that needed to be uploaded to any share link on the town side, we can take care of that as well.
Yeah, Matt responded to my questions on that initial
Your
tree.
questions were good because when I looked, I saw the same thing, and then I dug a little deeper. They were in different areas. We're cleaning that up to make sure that it's a little more user friendly.
Okay.
But
we
yeah,
need
it was
need
I
the
think
same thing for 36 King Street.
that's correct. Yeah, for the senior center, we were well over like 10 gigabytes of stuff, so it was hard to get it all loaded into our server in order to share, but that will be taken care of probably within the week. For King Street, we have done the same. We've created that file tree. We've spoken with the owner at Classic, who told us they'd be providing their thumb drives this week, and that's all that we'll be missing. We'll take those, we'll organize them correctly to put them in to said file tree, and we'll turn over a separate set at that point as well. They're a couple weeks behind the senior center, but we hope we get this closed out within the next couple weeks.
Okay, anything
Brian,
else?
all work is finished there?
Yes. it's a little two-parter as it took on a little bit of a project of its own that Eric has been spearheading from an insurance standpoint. From the original contract standpoint, we still have their final requisition that we're kind of just holding while we wait for everything to shake out from the claim on the insurance and getting that completed. But we have that. We're confirming a couple minor details to make sure we release their final payment. So that's where we stand there.
Eric, is
Did
there was there a resolution to this morning's issue at the senior center?
At the senior center, yeah, there was a phase loss in the power transformer outside, so the light department replaced it. Thank God we have our own light department. If it was National Grid, it would have been 2 weeks, but it was like
Yeah.
4 hours. So thank the Lord.
You know, I'll show you what shirt I'm wearing right now.
Oh, sorry if I offended anyone.
No.
So I know we covered senior center and part of 36 King. Anything else on senior?
No, there have been some warranty issues that we're working through, namely the flooring and some of the cupping and delaminating that we're seeing. Had the manufacturer representative out on site. He's provided what he called training to the installer, the filed subbid flooring. And I need to follow up to make sure that they are scheduled to go out and fix this, as it's becoming now almost a tripping hazard in certain areas that needs to be rectified. That'll be covered under the warranty period. There will be a 10-month walkthrough. Once we close this job out completely, we'll still be coming back with the commissioning agent and Commodore probably in the spring to go through a 10-month walkthrough, make sure things are still operating correctly, and to generate any type of last warranty items that we can take advantage of per the contract.
Okay, moving over to 36 King, Brian.
Yeah, just the closeout activities from our standpoint, from the construction standpoint. Like I said, the insurance claim has kind of taken precedent, and I think Eric really has taken that by the horns to get this rectified. I know that currently there has been some documentation that's been requested of us from the project side. We are getting them what we have. Some of the requests that they've had, we do not have, and so we're requesting it from the contractor, which is specific contracts that they have with subcontractors. But we've provided everything we can at this point and are tracing down anything more that they need. I think, Eric, there has been some determination on scope and coverage and where things are going next. But that's where we stand from the project perspective.
So pretty much all the fire and sprinkler system is back online, reconstructed. Everything is back the way it should be, except for two offices that are back to back. We're just waiting on the insurance adjuster's final say, which is dependent on documentation from Classic Construction, which we've been waiting on. He didn't notify us of this until now, which it would have been nice if a few weeks ago he told us that the information we provided wasn't sufficient, but now we're trying to get everything we can together and get all the documentation just so we can get through with the claim and close everything out and get done with the project. But basically all the construction work's been done, the remediation's been done, everyone's back in place except for one office, but that's vacated anyway. So
how about the basement? Is that all squared away?
Yep. Parks and Rec, basement, first floor, and the second floor is all set. Everyone's back in their offices, and there's just one vacant office, which is a vacant office anyway, that has a little bit of work to be done, but it's being settled right now.
Okay. Anything else on 36 King?
Not at this time.
Actually, yes, I have one note. Eric, we received an invoice billed to Park and Rec. And it's furniture related, and we just received it. Um, Ashley didn't know what it was. It just said Park and Rec and sent it off to Alicia. And Alicia said, this is part of the project stuff. And it was just billed in August. So we have no idea what this is. I'm not very happy with the whole furniture thing.
No, could you send that to me as well, Michelle, so that I
Yeah.
can make sure that that's part, and if it is, then there's an issue with that. Is that was being run through the designer and the procurement of that, and I want to make
Right.
sure that they're on top of it, and because
And all that might have been part of the insurance claim. One of the desks was damaged, and they were going to replace one of the desk tops for the desk, and that was changed out. And they should not charge us for the base of the desk. It was a surplus top that they gave us, so we'll have to look at that, Michelle, in depth.
Okay. I'll send it to both of you. It
Thank
was like
you.
$800. And I was like, what is this? We don't have an open PO for anything.
right.
Yeah, that's probably for insurance.
Oh. Okay. Thank you.
And
Yep.
fun continues. Moving over to the police station, Eric, any update?
The only update I can provide is that so the last time we spoke, the chief was going to go on vacation and we were going to keep the office shut. We brought the humidity tester in, and the outside humidity was 50% relative humidity. We went into the chief's office and it was 60% relative humidity. We walked over to the windowsill and put it on the gap of the bowing and cupping trim, and the relative humidity rose up to 71% in the room. So I asked the building commissioner his opinion, and he said he wanted to come down and take a look at it, and he believes that we should probably remove one of the windows so that we can ascertain what the actual condition is of the CMU, the block, the cinder block voids, and see if those are filled with foam, insulated, or if they're full of water or what, because it seems to everyone at this point that it's a humidity issue.
Well, we did that previously. We did do some destructive testing before you were with the town, and I think Brian can talk to that.
That's correct. And that was part of the original project too, was a lot of the reflashing and insulating of the window jambs that were not done during the original construction. The installation was such that they did not follow details for the install of that window. The project did not replace the windows, but it did do the work around the perimeter of each.
Right.
So I think that was the hope, that they were going to mitigate the humidity around those jambs of the window, but that's what had been done years prior.
So upon removing the trim of the windows, it appears that the only thing that was done to the windows was exterior and involved the lintels and flashing and things like that. The actual jambs and the insides of the windows and the sill of the windows we're not sure about. So it seems like we're going to have to revisit that at some point.
And just so, do you have the I can resend them to you, but the construction documents from
Yep.
the project that was done in 2021, I believe.
Yeah, 22, something
22?
like that.
Yeah.
I have those. Yep.
Okay.
So somewhat
All right, well-
inconclusive at this point. I don't know where we want to go from here, but
Nor do I, but seems like the never-ending project. I guess we'll revisit that next meeting.
That building there was no problem with that building for what, 10 years or so? You know, as far as humidity goes, is there something that with the system that we're not dumping the water out or dumping the humidity out of the building?
So I had our HVAC technician go through the whole entire building, and he could not find anything that was out of line in the system at all. The only thing I can notice, and the chief brought up, is that bullnose detail, that rounded detail along the perimeter of the parapet is blackened and kind of stained, which indicates that it might have soaked in some moisture, but I don't know.
Yeah, we cleaned that off, what, 3 years ago.
Correct.
And that was always suspect to us because it's flat on top.
Yep.
Thought it was a bad detail. Anyway, I guess we're gonna have to revisit that. So enough on the police station. Member input, Bob,
I'm all set, Steve.
Sean,
I'm all set, Steve. Thank you.
Mike,
I'm all set, thanks.
and I'm all set. Next meeting will be September 10th. And is there a meeting, or is there a motion to adjourn?
September 24th.
September 10th is today. Come on, Steve, wake up.
September 24th.
I'm
Steve.
sorry. September 24th. Yeah, it's a bad day for me, isn't it, Michelle?
It's because
Yeah.
you got the 10th on the agenda.
You had a better day than me.
So September 24th, okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, second.
Second.
I'm going to assume a unanimous vote and call the meeting adjourned. And thanks for your time. See you next